Hey, this is Ian Westerman from EssentialTennis.com. Welcome to video 2 of 3 in a series that I'm focusing in on how the pros practice and how exactly that leads to their high levels of performance on the courts. My goal with these 3 videos is really to inspire you to go out there and take action for yourself and copy some of the habits that they have on courts so that you yourself can play higher level tennis. Now in video 1, I checked out Nikolai Davydenko and we watched him practice his backhand. In today's video, we're going to look at Caroline Wozniacki. Let's go ahead and go right to the court, and we're going to see her at first working on her forehand. And this pattern that she's running through is so good, and really could be incredibly effective for so many of you watching this. She's taking some instruction from her coach in between reps, and you're going to see her go back and forth between moving back for a high, deep forehand, and then moving forwards for a short forehand that she can attack on. So she's transitioning back and forth between neutral or defense, depending on exactly how tough the feed is, and then forwards to offense. And this transitioning from different phases of play is something that so few recreational players are comfortable with. When you see your average recreational player practicing ground strokes like this, you'll see him or her moving across the baseline. Maybe they'll start in the middle of the baseline, move out, hit a forehand, move back to the center again, then maybe move to their left, hit a backhand, move back to the center again. Here you see Caroline moving back and forth. And that's really the part of the game that so often wins and loses matches. It's not just moving laterally across the baseline. Now we're going to see her do the same thing on her backhand side, moving back for a high, deep backhand, and then forwards for a short backhand. So as I described in the first video of this series, checking out Davydenko, we're seeing Caroline here focus in on something that's crucial to her success, being able to work within different phases of play and drilling it over and over again. So her and her coach are picking out something that's extremely important. You know, whether or not this is something that she's been struggling with recently, as I shot this video, I don't know. Maybe this is just a typical part of her practice routine. I really can't tell you for sure. But the bottom line is that she's picking something and really focusing on it closely and making sure that she gets it nailed down. And that's really important. So lastly here, I want to show you one other drill. And this one has her really working hard back and forth. So she initially was working up and back. Now she's moving back and forth, side to side. And you'll see a little bit different feed on her backhand side depending on what her practice partner is giving her. But the initial shot is a running forehand, some of them quite difficult, and then moving across for a backhand. Some of the backhands are high and deep, some are shorter that she can attack on. But she's really working hard here back and forth. You see a really difficult feed on that second shot. So again, we see all kind of different shots here. We're seeing defensive shots, we're seeing offensive shots, we're seeing neutral shots, we're seeing everything. And this type of dynamic practice is so good. And as I mentioned in the first video in this series, something that I just rarely see recreational players do. Recreational players tend to focus on what they're already good at or what they're pretty comfortable with already, and they rarely go out of their comfort zone. And doing drills like this, like what we just saw Caroline do and what we saw Davydenko do in the first video, really bring them out of their comfort zone. You saw Caroline there go for some tough shots. That forehand where she just barely dug it out, the backhand where she was way back behind the baseline. Let me challenge you watching at home to put yourself out there like this and put yourself in difficult situations on the court when you're in practice, and do it on purpose and do it over and over again. And that's how you're really going to be able to move up in level from where you are now to whatever that next level of play is. If you stick with what you're comfortable with, I can pretty much guarantee you that that's exactly where you're going to stay. And very often I feel that players who plateau in their tennis game, it's due to that kind of habit, sticking with what they're comfortable with and never really breaking outside of that. So Hopefully these last two videos have been inspiring to you and you've got some ideas to get out there and practice your own game in a way that's going to get you to that next level. If you enjoyed this video, please click like down below. Leave any questions or comments that you have down there as well. And very soon I'll be coming out with the third video in this series that's going to focus in on Novak Djokovic. So you do not want to miss that. Until then, thank you so much for watching and best of luck with your tennis. Want to serve more like the pros? Find out how as I compare Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic during my free 5-video course. Get it now at freeservecourse.com. That's freeservecourse.com.